On this episode of Rambler Sports Locker, we're following the upcoming Final Four games, updating the Chicago Bulls season going into the playoffs, and off-season movement with the Chicago Bears.
All this and more coming up next.
Welcome back to Rambler Sports Locker. I'm Gabbi Lumma.
And I'm Kihmm. It's that time of year where the NBA playoffs are just around the corner and teams are competing for a high seed or even to make it in. Currently, the only 4 teams who are locked to compete in the playoffs are the Phoenix Suns, Memphis Grizzlies, Dallas Mavericks, and Miami Heat. And for the Chicago Bulls, the competition is tough. Currently, the Bulls are seeded 5th in the East with a tight race ahead of them until April 16th, the first day of playoff action. If the playoffs started today, the Bulls are in. However, the Raptors are gaining momentum and could pass the Bulls very soon. The Bulls have been a bit shaky the past few games, which might place them in the play-in tournament, a mini-series for teams seeded 7th through 10th to compete for the 7th and 8th seeds in the playoffs. So far, the team has a solid crew rolling into the playoffs, with bench players such as Kobe White and Javonte Green stepping up. Starter Lonzo Ball is still out with a knee injury, along with Zach LaVine, listed as day-to-day with a knee injury as well. However, the Bulls are thriving with DeMar DeRozan and Nikola Vucevic, who add to the team in a very positive way. In addition, Alex Caruso recently returned from an injury that sidelined him for months, coming at the perfect time for a playoff push. If the team continues to play like they did against the Wizards on Tuesday night, they have a safe bet of landing a spot in the playoffs and avoiding a play-on tournament situation. All I gotta say is, Dub Nation.
In more Chicago sports news, this NFL offseason has posed as an interesting one with so much player and coach movement between teams. Reporter Amelia Villhauer has the latest on the Bears trades.
The trades keep rolling in for the Chicago sports teams, and this week I'll be talking about the new members joining the Chicago Bears next season. To start off, General Manager Ryan Poles brought in interior offensive lineman Lucas Patrick from the Green Bay Packers. Poles has hopes for Patrick taking on a leadership position. Patrick has also worked closely with the Bears' new offensive coordinator, Luke Getsy, when Getsy was the Packers' offensive assistant. The Bears also brought in linebacker Nicholas Moreau, who's making a return after an ankle injury took him out for a season when he was signed to the Raiders. Moreau has an impressive 254 tackles under his belt after 62 career games. Pohl is hoping his strong and smart mentality will sharpen the defensive game this season. Then there's fullback Kari Blasingame, who's coming from the Tennessee Titans. He will be the Bears' first fullback since Michael Burton back in 2018. This is unsurprising due to many NFL teams phasing out the position completely. In retaliation, Blasingame said in an interview, quote, "The fullback position in the league, everybody thinks it's a dying breed, but there's a lot of guys who are in the league doing a lot of good things for the teams that still use them," end quote. These are only 3 of the many trades happening for this season. Hopefully with these changes, the Bears can have themselves a very good season. For Rambler Sports Locker, I'm Amelia Villhauer.
Thanks, Amelia. Loyola sports are also making headlines this week. Men's volleyball redshirt senior setter Garrett Zolg was named the MIVA Defensive Player of the Week after his team's sweep of rival Lewis University on March 26th. He had his 6th double-double of the season with 33 assists and 10 digs. The team is set to play on April 2nd against Quincy University.
Lastly, reporter Abbey Sileo gives us a Final Four preview before one of college basketball's biggest weekends.
The Final Four is here, and both games will be this Saturday in New Orleans. Let's look back at how every team got here. First, the number 8 seed North Carolina Tar Heels will take on the number 2 seed Duke Blue Devils at 5:09 p.m. Considered one of the most intense rivalries in American sports, a lot of hype surrounds this historic matchup. This will be the first time Duke and UNC will face off in the Final Four against each other. As an 8 seed, the Tar Heels are the lowest seed in the Final Four. Their tournament run so far includes upsets over number 1 seed Baylor and number 4 seed UCLA. In the Elite 8, they ended 15 seed St. Peter's Cinderella story in a 69-49 win. UNC is in its first season under head coach and former Tar Heel Hubert Davis after longtime coach Roy Williams' retirement. Meanwhile, it's Duke head coach Mike Krzyzewski's last season before his retirement. This is the Blue Devils' 13th Final Four in his 42 years with the team. The Blue Devils are on a roll, edging out number 3 seed Texas Tech and number 4 seed Arkansas to make it to New Orleans. We'll see if Davis will bring UNC back to glory or if Coach K's farewell tour will move on to the championship game. Next, the number 1 seed Kansas Jayhawks will face the number 2 seed Villanova Wildcats. The Jayhawks are the only 1 seed left, beating out Arizona, Gonzaga, and Baylor. They faced close games against 4 seed Providence and 9 seed Creighton, as well as a blowout win over 10 seed Miami in the Elite Eight. In his 19 years with Kansas, head coach Bill Self has led his team to 4 Final Fours and a national championship in 2008. The Wildcats also come into this game with championship experience. Head coach Jay Wright led Villanova to national championships in 2016 and 2018. Graduate point guard Colin Gillespie was also a part of the 2018 championship team. One of the best offensive teams in the country, Villanova cruised past 15 seed Delaware, 7 seed Ohio State, 11 seed Michigan, and 5 seed Houston. All 4 teams are looking to add another title to their already large trophy cases. The nation is ready to see the Big Dance take on the Big Easy. For Rambler Sports Locker, I'm Abbey Sileo.
Thanks, Abby. To stay up to date on all things Rambler Sports, be sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Loyola RSL.
From all of us here at Rambler Sports Locker, happy April Fool's Day, and don't forget to turn out the lights.